Hi, my name is Charles Roderick. I'm a professor of art and design at Harper College, and I've been asked to give a bit of an introduction to my honors section of Introduction to Arts, which is going to be running in fall 2021. The information you can see here is the general details of the course, like the course number and CRN number. It's a three credit course. It's completely online, and it's going to actually be a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. So the bulk of the course is online and asynchronous, meaning there's no designated meeting time. We are going to meet weekly on Tuesdays. So normally we would meet twice a week face-to-face, but the online section here is going to be synchronous only on Tuesdays from 9:30 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. And this is where we'll coordinate and meet online together on a platform that we can all share and easily use. I'm undecided at the moment. I'm tempted to. John Garcia has some suggestions on some good platforms, and I'm going to test out a couple. And so that'll all be very clear if you're taking the course. If you want to email me with any questions, go ahead and make note of the email there, and you can email me directly, and I'll answer that way if you have any concerns or specifics that I'm not going to cover here. So I'm going to give a brief introduction. I'm going to talk about generally the details of the course, but in addition, I'm going to use this time to kind of give a general walkthrough of some of the big questions of the course. So the kind of arc of the course, or framework that consistently revolves around a few questions. But some of the specifics, the course is laid out with short weekly responses that you'll be doing actually as video responses. So I'll lay out a critical thinking question of some sort related to some content, so a lecture or a reading of sorts, and you'll have the opportunity to respond. I post everything on Mondays. By Thursday, you'll have a kind of short response that then we'll respond to in person, hopefully on that Tuesday. But I might shift things slightly week to week, mainly because I haven't done this combo of asynchronous or synchronous. So we might shift some of those days of the week depending on how it feels to do face-to-face on those Tuesdays. But in general, you'll have a weekly short response to some content that's being delivered from me. And then you'll also have longer assignments, and these assignments usually range from they're short art projects, actually. So you'll be making art in this course, so drawing, sculpture, performance. Those are all things that you'll be doing. And from the feedback I get from students, I'm not judging your artistic skills, but I am the assignments that I create often relate right back to the content of the course, and so I'm getting you into a mindset, thinking about how artists make, and also considering the idea of learning by doing. So those are the rationales. Now there are a couple quizzes. There's a midterm quiz and a final, and those are set in stone, and there's no tricks to them. The quizzes are based on the content that I present. They're not cumulative, so the final isn't for the entire semester, it's from midterm on. And then we also write a formal analysis paper, which is a kind of standard essay style for art majors, but also in college in general. I hope that is generally kind of clear, but I'm going to move forward so you get an idea of some of maybe the content that we'll be covering. So I like to start the course because I think this is a really excellent base for gauging who has what exposure to art in general. And the question of who made this, right? Who made this artwork? If you don't know who made this artwork, that makes sense to me. It makes sense that in our culture, you wouldn't, or our society wouldn't have much exposure to this, maybe even until college or beyond, or ever if you don't have a real interest in art. This is an artwork by, well, let me move forward here. When was it made? Right? And you can see there's a date on it, so that helps some. What is it about? That's a really big question that we'll consistently come back to. And why should you care? Okay. Now, one of the things I really like about this artwork is that there's this kind of backstory and history to it, but the thing that I like most predominantly is the conversation it sparks around why you wouldn't know this artwork or some of that backstory. So in 2004, there was a Turner Prize survey, and the Turner Prize is a big competitive grant or prize that's given to contemporary artists out of Britain, and it's there's a lot of hype about it, and it really sparks people's careers. Now, during the Turner Prize and the announcement of it, there was a sampling of 500 of what would be considered powerful players in the British art world. And these British art world meaning, they have a broad sense of Western art in general and dominance in that art world. And so it's important to know that those are not exclusively the only people who have power in the art world, but they're very dominant. Now, these are artists, dealers, critics, and curators, and people who are part of the museums and galleries. And they were asked to vote on what they consider the most significant artwork that influenced their ideas around art. And this artwork, Fountain, is the title of it, by the artist R. Mutt, or is signed with the name R. Mutt, is by an artist named Marcel Duchamp. And it was chosen as the most influential artwork by 64% of those who answered. Now, that's significant, right? The starting, the reason why I think this is so influential or important for us to understand and consider is that, let me go back to the actual image. The idea that living contemporary artists and the powerful players who have a lot of influence on the topic and who defines what art is and what we actually see as a public as meaningful cultural art or meaningful or relevant or important or significant artworks today, a significant amount of those people cite an artwork like this that many of my students over the years have never been exposed to. So you've gone all the way through an education system in this country and never been shown this artwork. And what that means to me is, or if I kind of take a logical step, if you're going to consume art, so you're going to a museum or gallery or anything like that, and you feel at all distant or confused or uncertain as to what you're looking at and why you're looking at it, and don't know this artwork, then you're missing out on a significant reason why the artwork you're seeing is what it is and why it's presented to you. Because the influence of this artwork is so powerful that there's this missing link that you don't see and don't have access to. And I think that's huge, right? And so to me, the best artwork or art reflects what we are and what helps us make sense of the world. And if there's this disconnect and you don't have these pieces to a puzzle of understanding why you're looking at what you're looking at, you might come to some conclusions and have some ideas or be assisted by the museum or gallery in understanding something, but the references aren't fully developed, and that way there's a lack of a kind of fuller, more meaningful understanding of the work and what it's trying to do, okay? What the art is trying to do. So, let me go back. That was a mistake. I wanted to go back to that one. I hope that helps kind of generally ease you into a kind of angle as to how I'm approaching the course. It's an Introduction to Arts course, which at some colleges and universities, they call it an art appreciation course, but I'm much more interested in seeing it as a kind of cultural and visual literacy type course. And so you make art, you talk about art, but the larger concern or the arcing concern is who's defining that art? What do artists think art is? Why should you care? Why should you feel compelled to understand or consume art? What's its purpose? And ... So if you have any questions beyond that, I'm happy to answer them. And I really do get a lot of good feedback from students in terms of the perspective of the course and how it kind of alters how they more broadly experience the world. And I think that's meaningful to me, and I think it can be meaningful to you as well. So I look forward to seeing you in the fall, and thanks for your time.